Hello students, welcome to Java programming course and unit 5 we have completed string handling as a chapter 1 of this unit 5, and now we are going to start chapter 2 multi-threaded programming from this unit 5, and these are the topics to be covered in this video from this chapter 2 multi-threaded programming of unit 5. Introduction to multi-threading and how this thread programming can be achieved using Java by Java programs, and how it is helpful and why it is needed, and need for multiple threads. What is the requirement of having multiple threads? Is it necessary or maybe required? And multi-threaded programming for multi-core processor. And as we know, computer system made of with a single core processor or multi-core processor. And when we are implementing this multi-threaded programming, then is what affect it on multi-core processors. Okay, coming to the topic 1, introduction. And here it is before going to this one. So if you are looking at the diagram here, these are the different states of a thread when you are implementing threads in our program. And we will see this one. It is very important topic called the thread life cycle. Okay. Coming to the introduction part here, and Java provides this multi-threaded programming as a built-in service for the users of Java language. And a multi-threaded program, nothing but it consists two or more parts of a program that can run concurrently. So in this class, we are going to see the differences between concurrent, simultaneous, parallel, like that. So here that multi-threaded program mainly useful for a program to have two or more parts of the program that can run concurrently, right? And we'll see this one and more clear. By doing this thing, that means in our program, we can make parts more than two and that can run concurrently. And concurrently running two parts with a mutual understanding, right? And next part is each part of such a program is called a thread. That this multi-program allows you to divide your program into two or more parts. That part is nothing but a thread. And here each thread defines a separate path of execution. So that's why we are making these parts into a run state concurrently because they are having this separate path of execution, right? So this multi-threading is a specialized form of multitasking. So the word is very important for our computer science and engineering students because this, the computer system consists of one system software called operating system. So it is considered as a brain of a computer, and it controls everything, whatever the actions we performed on a computer system. So it is under the control and coordination by the system software called operating system. That is the subject you are going to learn in the semester 3. And just have some brief introduction of that one to understand this multitasking. Why? Because we are going to study this multi-threading is a specialized form of this multitasking. However, there are two distinct types of this multitasking. The one is process-based, another one is thread-based. And earlier to this multi-threaded programming in our computer system, We generally execute programs based on process-based execution. But later, after this invention of this multi-threaded programming, so our computers execute the programs fastly and throughput also increased. Throughput nothing but the output of the program, and also efficiency already may get in improved state. So there are some more advantages of this thread based than process based, and both are comes under this category called multitasking, right? It is important to understand the difference between these two before understanding the concept called multitasking. So first you go for to learn what is multitasking, then later go for what is the types of this multitasking based on process and thread. Now coming to this simple real-time scenario to understand this multitasking on a desktop computer, like simple case. So generally a computer can perform more tasks or maybe at a time. So am I instructing you that keep it in mind that the words I'm saying, task, process, multitasking, operating system, right? So all these are very important for our course, not only course, for your entire um, program, nothing but a computer science. And even in third year and final year, every time you will talk about these keywords, okay? Terminology, very important. So here, this computer can able to perform more tasks at a time, right? At a time means maybe simultaneously, or maybe concurrently, or maybe parallelly. So here, one task is related to the process called using World Wide Web connection. So you are surfing some internet. So this task can do by our computer system as it is. The same way in parallel, can you able to listen songs or movies just like that? As this process can also done by this computer. In parallel or in addition to this one, task one, this task two also can perform. And while doing this too, you can also organize your mail checking or mail forwarding or checking, making this email as automatic to receive your incoming mails. Like that, you can also download, maybe uploading some document to mail or downloading any mail from your mail accounts. Also, this one also considered as one of the type of process or maybe a task in general terms executing on this computer or performed by this computer. And the same way, some antivirus application is already running at all the time of the computer. Every time it in active state. When you plugged in a pen drive, it automatically checks what type of device is connected to our computer system. And background, when any during your surfing of the internet, any malicious applications are running on computer, any harmful websites are you are visiting, everything is controlled and monitored by this antivirus process. So this is considered that as a task. So all these tasks are doing by this computer at a time. So this is a concept called multitasking, right? So generally, to improve the performance of the computer during this multitasking based on threads, that gives an efficiency in program execution. That's why we need this multi-threaded programming, not for our general programming doing like that. When you are going to improve the system performance while they are doing tasking, multitasking at a time, so there you need to construct programs based on threading, right? And what actually inside the process is doing like this when you are doing like another example, I'm doing multitasking. Internally in our computer system, we may have central processing unit, CPU, And this CPU considered as an hardware device, and like the components of hardware device like memory, IO, everything will controlled by this operating system, right? This operating system is the system software, and it is an interface between that user applications. All these are front-end applications of the user going to interact with the hardware for doing or performing some operations. So here this operating system is a interface between the computer user and computer hardware. So it takes the total control and coordination of the user actions on the hardware performance. So all these things will be considered as processes. And these processes can schedule and dispatch by this operating system functions, right? Then only the CPU can able to perform these processes and gives you result or any outcome of your using. Suppose when you are using paint, you need to drag and drop some symbols into the paint environment, and you are doing something painting with some tools there. So everything the hardware need to be respond to your actions. So who will take care? Operating system will take care about your user actions that are running on the hardware. So in this considered as a multitasking, a computer can do all these processes at a time, right? And coming to this, the different types, and here we have two types of multitasking. Yes, one is process-based multitasking, right? Then okay, here process-based multitasking, thread-based multitasking. That it means while doing this multitasking on a computer system, the execution of programs and based on the control of this process and based on sometimes maybe thread based. Okay, so we will see about this process based multitasking in a brief way, and we'll try to go to this thread based multitasking. So this is the called thread based multitasking is called multi-threading. Okay, now coming to here, the first starts with the definition called process. What is a process here? So process is nothing but a program that is executing. And you know the some theoretical experience from computer organization, and you know that program is nothing but a file that contains source code, and after compiling, this code will be converted into object code, right? And after linking and loading, and this file is going to be convert executable file, and that should be placed in memory for execution. So this is a file or a program that is going to be executing by processor, nothing but CPU. So CPU fetches from this memory and execute it. And you know this little bit basic from computer organization studied in the last semester. So here this process is nothing but consider this as a program. After compilation, it becomes object code, and after linking loading, it becomes executable file, right? So this to be execute this file. So when it is going to execute in a CPU, that the concept is called process. That process is nothing but a program that is executing. And process based multitasking. So here this program or a task is divided into multiple processes. And this multitasking of based on process is the feature that allows your computer to run two or more programs concurrently. Got it or not? So concurrently is by mutual exclusion, both are running on a computer at the same time, right? For example, Process-based multitasking enables you to run Java compiler for compiling your program and the same time that you are using a text editor or visiting a website. So you are visiting a website and in parallel you are doing your programs running or using Java compiler. So both tasks are performing, but at the back end, this multitasking is based on process, right? Process based execution. This is called process based multitasking. In this process based multitasking, a program is the smallest unit of code. Program is nothing but the smallest unit of code. Here it is nothing but some executable code that can be dispatched by the scheduler. That can be dispatched by the scheduler. And you know the operating system concept from this semester very well. In operating system, there are some schedulers called CPU schedulers, FCFS, SJF, right? You can remember this concept. So these schedulers can dispatch this type of smallest program of a unit, nothing but a process. That process making into a queue arrangement and in order and dispatching one process by process to CPU for scheduling or for executing. And this processing schedule and this process schedule based on them some criteria. First come, first serve, shortest job first, round robin, priority based CPU scheduling like that. And you all familiar with these concepts. And now thread based multitasking. And thread also you are aware of this thread concept in operating system also, but I am just reminding you the recapping the concepts how this multi-threading program improves the computer performance and throughput. So here thread-based multitasking environment, there thread is a smallest unit of dispatchable code like a process, but it has some difference compared with the process. In operating system, we learned that process is nothing but a program in execution. And this process requires address space, and that address space contains instructions, code, plus data, some registers, right? Everything will be needed to maintain in an address space inside of the memory. But whereas thread is a lightweight process. Thread is a lightweight process, whereas process is a heavyweight process. So heavyweight means that is based on address space requirement for the process to be executed inside memory. And we know the concept that it is when the program is going to execute and that should be first placed in memory. And when we place this process in memory or program in memory, that it needs address space, right? Some address space is required. What this address space contains, the instructions you wrote in program for execution, that is also loaded into address space. The data required for this program to execute, that is also some list of registers required by this program to store temporary data, to store global data, to store function calling using reference variables. Everything will be from this address space only, right? So, but thread is nothing but where it is a small unit of dispatchable code. The code can execute with a lightweight address space. Nothing but it just required that only register and stack, register and stack. That is enough for execute to thread in a computer or a processor. But the process is not like. The process is heavyweight. It requires everything, open list of files, everything. Like that, we will discuss this one later. Coming to this means that a single program can perform two or more tasks simultaneously. Here simultaneously nothing but a parallel. And concurrent and parallel different. Concurrent seems to be a parallel but not simultaneous. So here simultaneously nothing but parallel. Both are running at a time. Right? For instance, A text editor can format text at the same time that is printing. A text editor, whatever you type to enter into the text into that editor, it formats that text to be displayed on the editor. So as long as these two actions are being performed by two separate threads in our program. So consider that using the text editor is a one task. In that task, I divided that concept into two parts. One it is formatting text, another one is printing text. So both are doing performing two different tasks, and I'm considering those, I'm implementing those as an threads. So threads can execute simultaneously. So when I'm entering data into text, it formats the data and printing into the editor. So this is some of the example cases, and we will see some more. So coming to in our operating system, there are some programs to be executed, and we call them as a process, process 1, process 2, and process 3. Inside of this process, I have divided this program parts into small ports like threads, T1, T2, T3, and having some relations like this. And this process 3 having only single thread of action, and here it is two threads. So like this, we just have a logical view for your understanding. I'm just showing you that in our operating system program, it is considered as a memory, and some processes may having some small parts of your program like a threads. So here multi-threading with example called word processor. Word processor, nothing but when you are creating a Word document, you just open the document, right? You are now started typing into the content or data into the Word document. So do you know something? Internal threads will run to execute your word processing perfectly. So for this process, we need central processing unit and one application called word processor. And in between, operating system will convert the actions performed from this word processor to CPU to be executed. And inside, whatever the operation you are performing on a Word document, that it is responding to keystrokes, checking grammar, spell check. When you on dictionary, it automatically checks your typing word spelling or a grammar checking. So both will spell checker and grammar checker. Okay, in the same way, you can some graphics also allowed to create some multimedia content or not only multimedia like image data, right? Image data, some picture clip arts. So the something one task is required in your part of program as a part of your program. So we consider that as one of the thread to perform that graphic operation. And another thread will work to responding to the keystrokes, what you are typing, uh, want to enter into the as a text into this Word document. So there is one thread to support this one. And spell checker, grammar checker, everything, all these are threading concepts and working together to perform your document to be ready. Whatever the data you are entered into the document by user. Like this is called multi-threading, right? I hope you all understood the concept well, and we go for this multi-threading. Multitasking threads based on threads, and it requires less overhead than multitasking with processes. As it is the concept is most useful in real time and doing multitasking with threads. And it has only less overhead means the overhead related to the address space, communication and context switching like this here. So whereas why? Because the processes are called heavyweight tasks. As I told you that heavyweight is related to address space. Heavyweight is related to address space. You know, this process address space contains many things, right? Instructions, code, local data, global data, registers, stacks, heap memory, everything is controlled by this address space, contains in address space. And you know that process can get some different states in memory, right? in operating system subject. And inter-process communication, inter-process, right? So in during execution, one process may execute another process, that inter-process communication concept, right? Is expensive in process-based scheduling, right? Tasking. And it is limited, only limited to some type of situations. And you know that context switching is one of the familiar terminology in operating system subject. Context switching means switching from one process to another process by processor, CPU. So consider this simple example. I am giving this diagram based on thread, but you can also take the same for thread also here. So consider two processes or two threads are there. So consider this is the timeline for CPU to execute these two threads or processes parallelly. So when the processor executing this thread A, then after that, this interrupt is generated by this B to execute. So immediately the processor stops this process at this point and shift to execute this B thread at this time. So in between we have some delay, right? Right. So this is called thread context switch time. So like that also here also some delays occur from switching from B to A and sometimes A to B and B to A. This type of context switching generally occurs in our computer. This is the concept called concurrently. Sir, mutual exclusively, they are both are parallelly running. But if you observe in this case, the processor doing execution of only one thread at a time, not two threads at a time, right? But it seems to be like visualizing that both are running simultaneously, but not running parallelly. So one by one, they are executing. Only some part of program A is running and later B running, then A running, B running. That the control of the processor is shifting from one thread to another thread. This concept is called context switch. Okay, everything, all these are related to process based and these are separate. Address space is heavyweight. Inter-process communication is expensive in process based multitasking and context switching is also costly. It requires many times to be context switch. Whereas coming to these threads, on the other hand, are lighter weight. So that's why I define and state that these threads as thread is a lightweight process and it requires no separate address space. It shares the process address space itself, there itself, and cooperatively share the same heavyweight process given by the process. You know that process having address space itself and thread doesn't require any address space separately. It shares the same address space, right? And also inter-thread communication is inexpensive, whereas in process it is expensive, but here it is inexpensive. And context switching from one thread to next is lower in cost. So the time also taken context switching, it's very less compared between the process context switching. Right? I think you all 100% guarantee that you concepts learned in operating system very well. And here it is, I'm just reminding you the concepts once again. Multi-threading enables you to write efficient programs. That's why the programmer chosen to this multi-threading concept in program design, especially using Java language. And it gives some way to design efficient programs that maximum use of processing power, that it is very, very important for our computer science students to implement applications in our stream. So you have to utilize maximum processing by the processor, by the system, right? How can you do this one? Based on this, when you use this maximum use of CPU time or making your CPU busy, not sitting idle, so it automatically improves the throughput, right? Performance also improves. So one important way of multi-threading achieves is that by keeping ideal time to be minimum. Ideal time should be minimum. Ideal means sitting quiet and not doing any job. So even when you're doing process and execution, CPU maybe during process execution, CPU sometimes maybe sit idle. For example, when program one process is executing, so you compiled one program and started execution, and the processor is ready to execute and started execution. And in between any instruction of your program required input to enter data, then the control is transferred to keyboard for taking that input, right, by the user. So during the time, what CPU doing there? CPU just sits idle. It does nothing, right? So that time should be minimum. That it means when it is when any other program is went for input reading and the control is shifted to keyboard, then the process is utilized. That process capacity, processor capacity, CPU capacity utilized by other process running in the same system, then that is called multitasking or multi-threading. And you can give the process this type of way, you can achieve concurrency among the executing threads or processes in our computer system. That is the secret behind this. Okay. So now coming to what is the need for multiple threading? We know that now we started concept from based on process and we studied well, and thread also we discussed something concepts related to thread, why it is required, why it is important, and what effect we get by these threads implementing in our programs. So now what is the need for multiple threads? As it is required. Why? Because one thread makes your computer more efficient. Then when you implement multiple threads in our program, then think that how much efficiency or how much throughput you will get by your computer system. So here, although the last several decades, efforts have been underway for increasing the throughput of the computer. To improve the throughput of the computer, we need to do something mechanisms incorporated into our operating system or maybe in our computer system based on software point of view, hardware point of view. We need to do some efforts to increase the throughput of the computer. So here, as the developers of the some applications, we are also doing like this. To increase the throughput of the computer is possible only by dividing that program into segments. Nothing but functionality, modularity. And you know the power of functions used in our program that are data independent. And when this formula works, when this idea works into your program, when you are dividing the program into segments, and also you consider some data independent. When data is dependent, it is something is not useful by dividing the program into segments. Why you are dividing programs into segments means you are trying to run these segments concurrently or simultaneously to get the throughput out more. And how it is 100% possible when data independent among the modules or segments achieved. Sometimes and every time it's not possible data independent, right? Sometimes we may execute programs based on data dependencies. Some part of segment data is useful to other segment for execution. So in that situation also some mechanisms there. But most of the times we are talking about this increase in throughput of a computer is possible only by dividing your program into segments that are data independent and can be processed simultaneously. When data independent means simultaneously, there is no dependency among the segments with respect to this data in our program, then you can run these segments simultaneously, parallelly. There is no question of dependency. Then they can run parallelly, right? By more than one processor. Sometimes your computer system may have one processor, maybe dual core, multi-core. So then think of your output. The performance of the computer automatically improves while you are doing such a type of things in your program as well as hardware. So this decreases the total time of computation if it is. Simultaneously, when you are dividing your programs into segments and running simultaneously, the computation time 100% it decreases. Gradually it decreases, right? So that's when you are creating multi-thread program and it is inbuilt in Java, and also you are utilizing CPU capacity may be improved by having multiple threads, right? So when you are creating your programs with multiple threads, it automatically improves the usage of capacity of the CPU, right? Why? Because we are having multiple threads to run parallelly. So the CPU capacity automatically utilized, maximum utilized. So that's concurrently execute different parts of your program, maybe concurrently or parallelly. So this gives the effect in increase in throughput of computer. See one type of example here. Yeah, here I will show you how to achieve this concurrency and parallel or simultaneous here. So concurrent means here. So suppose assume that we have a single core. Nothing but single core means one single processor in our computer system. So in our program, we have two threads running concurrently. That it means one thread is executing, another thread will wait. So when it generates and ready to start, then context switch apply, then second thread will execute. Then where the T1 need to execute, the control by the processor stops the process here of T2 and control shifts to T1 to execute. Like this, using this context switching, we are switching to execution of these threads one by one. So this is the concept called concurrency execution of threads. Yes, we can achieve this one. It also improves the performance and it increases the input throughput. Whereas simultaneous and parallel here, thread 1 and thread 2, and we have multi-core. So one CPU, CPU 1 and CPU 2, they can execute two threads simultaneously, right? If there is any data dependency occurs, then it is not possible. If there is data independency, then both threads execute parallelly. Another example here, consider in our computer, we have 4 tasks to be performed here. And in computer, I have two CPUs, CPU 1 and CPU 2. So this task is scheduled like this, and it needs to execute this type of part. But we switch these two tasks for this CPU 1. So first it perform this one when it is, then context switch is applied, and again context switching is like this, right? The same way here also. See here, if you observe here, this 3 and T1 is executing parallelly. T1, T3 executing parallelly at this context of view, and at this context of view, task 2, task 3 executing parallelly, right? In our computer system. Got it? In this context view, task 1, task 4 executing parallel. And here in this view, task 1, task 3 executing parallel. Here it is task 2, task 4 executing parallel. But what is the relation between this task 3 and task 4? How these two executing concurrently? So not at a time. Task 3, task 4 not executing at a time. So they are executing concurrently using this context switching by processor 2. Control is shifting and starting executing like this. Got it? And I hope you all understood about how this multi-threading are using running in our computer system to increase the throughput of a computer. And multi-threaded programming for multi-core processor. It's already covered, but just once again, I'm giving you one more example for this. Multi-threaded programming for multi-core processor. Multi-core means more than one processor. So from single core CPU, it has advanced from two cores. That it means increasing another core, another processor into your computer. Or four core are now many core. Nowadays we are using many core. In 10 years older, there our general personal computer system with single processor and dual core is most advanced it is in those days, right? And later enhancement done, four processor, octa core. Now mobiles you can use octa core as a processor system in your mobile system or in your computer life. And maybe like some supercomputers, it is like several computers within a computer. The supercomputers, maybe 40 to 50 processors are in a single supercomputer, or maybe more than, maybe I'm just giving one simple idea like that. Many processors may be connected into a system for doing processing to improve, to increase the time, or to increase the throughput, to improve the performance, to reduce the computational time for scientific applications. So we need this multi-threaded programming with multi-core processors, right? So the optimal utilization of hardware capacity is throwing a new challenge for the programmers. So as the hardware improving their capacity, as a programmers or a developers of our applications on those hardware, it's a big challenge for us to utilize that power. What we are improving many cores into your computers, and you have to utilize that capacity, right? In our days, generally in 2001 that time, so the average usage of CPU capacity is 40% only. As much load and task you can impose on your computer system, but you can use on average capacity is 40% of CPU power or capacity. But nowadays, the technology varies and enhances in a way that you are trying to utilize as much capacity your system having through the hardware connected in your computer, right? At present, it is left to the operating system. As a programmer or a developer, we can't do this task in a right way, right? But it is left to the operating system and scheduler of a language to manage scheduling of tasks and threads within a task, right? That dividing the task into subtasks or small parts or threads and scheduling those threads in order to execute on a processor of the computer, right? And also maybe different cores of a CPU. So this will automatically taken care by operating system and the schedulers of the that device processor, and scheduler may require for printer also. Scheduler may require for IO devices also. So based on the situation, the operating system will take care of this burden and overhead to give that improvement of the using of this multi-threading program for multi-core processor. So see here one more example I have given. Here I have T1, T2 and T3, and I have two cores in my computer, that it is CPU1 and CPU2. And you can run first CPU1. I scheduled, I'm giving the scheduling concept like here just for reminding you. So T1 is having some time of part of program to be executed, right? So I schedule this T1 to CPU1, right? Core 1, core 1, core 2. You can like that. Core 1, core 2, core 1. So it is started, right? So at the time delay, T2 started, right? At time delay. So in this time duration, if you observe in this time duration, T1 is the only thread executing on my computer. So when this time part slice occurred, T2 started execution. So I need to schedule to this any of the core of my computer. So core 1 is busy with T1, right? So now I schedule this T2 to core 2 for execution here. So T2 is executed. So and some part of this one is completed.